AITA. Am I the a-hole to ask my friend, single mother, to do a paternity test on her son because I had suspicions my husband is the father? Messy, but I'll make this as short as possible. So one of my best friends had a kid 3 years ago. She said it was a one-night stand and later the guy expressed no interest in being a dad, so she raised her son herself. No one has ever seen this guy, not even me. The issue is this kid looks extremely like my husband, like to an insane degree. The hair color, eyes, face, everything. He's even been out with my friend and her son and people have mistaken him to be the dad before. Needless to say, for 3 years now I've had my suspicions, but I haven't said anything. My husband is also close to my friend and the timeline works out. We were all living almost in the same neighborhood around the time she got pregnant. Over the past year it's really eaten at me. I see the resemblance growing more and more. It doesn't help that my friend refuses to show me a picture of her son's biological father no matter how much I asked. It kept spiraling until I had a meltdown and confronted both of them, saying that I will pack up and leave if I don't see a paternity test. Long story short, my friend got a paternity test but said our friendship is over. The test says my husband isn't the father. I feel so ashamed to lose my friend, but I thought my husband would slightly understand since even he sees the obvious resemblance between him and this kid. But he has moved out for the time being and I'm worried this is the end of our marriage. AITA. Am I the a-hole for insisting on that test? I honestly felt like I had no other choice. The resemblance was unavoidable and it was eating at me so much that no amount of therapy could help. I thought my husband would understand my fears, most of all given my history with past cheating exes. Did I frock up and how badly? YTA. You're the a-hole. I thought my husband would slightly understand since even he sees the obvious resemblance between him and this kid. Wait, so you thought your supposedly cheating husband would just casually comment on his love child like, "Oh gee honey, doesn't he look just like me," to his already paranoid wife? Why the frock would he do that if he was actually guilty? Why the frock would either of them indulge you if they actually cheated? It'd be nice if we could just believe people who swear they weren't cheating. But that's just what cheaters would do, so we can't. I don't even know where to begin judging this one. How would that even go? Babe, I know this is stupid, but the kid looks a lot like you, and I just can't get this idea out of my head. What should I do? Faithful spouse's response. I have always been faithful to you. I hate to say it, but this sounds like your past experiences with cheating exes is messing with your head. If you pursue this, it's going to ruin your friendship and strain our marriage. Please listen to me and figure out a way to get over it. Cheating spouse's response. I have always been faithful to you. I hate to say it, but this sounds like your past experiences with cheating exes is messing with your head. If you pursue this, it's going to ruin your friendship and strain our marriage. Please listen to me and figure out a way to get over it. If you suspect cheating but can't prove it, what are you supposed to do? The only two options I can think of are burn it all down, right or wrong, and just let it go, right or wrong. Once you start trying to prove it, accusing people of cheating and asking for evidence, etc., those friendships are pretty much trashed either way. If you're right, they're goddamn cheaters and that's the end of the friendship. If you're wrong, congratulations. You've accused your friend of betraying you, and that's the end of the friendship. So I think you have to ask yourself, what's more important to you? Losing your friends but knowing for sure? Or keeping your friends and living with the doubt? I incline towards YTA, you're the a-hole, but would ask for more info. The situation is both sad and very confusing. I get that this child looked like your husband, but it is one hell of a leap to assuming unfaithfulness from him and betrayal from a close friend. My question, I guess, is did you have any reason to suspect him? Specifically, Has he previously been unfaithful or given you solid reason to distrust him? If the answer is no, then YTA, I'm afraid. But it is a really sad situation. I recognize that you've lost a friend and now face the difficult challenge of reconciling with your husband. You might need outside support, e.g. couples counseling, to help with that. YTA. You're the a-hole. You need to get therapy, OP, regardless of whether or not your marriage survives, and if I were your spouse, I don't think it would. This is obviously a pretty serious problem. I thought my husband would slightly understand. You accused him of 1. Having so little respect for your marriage that he'd run around, and 2. Having so little loyalty to his own flesh and blood that he'd be a deadbeat dad. Seriously. I don't think I'd want to be around you again, if you insulted me so terribly. And then the fact that you had a meltdown and confronted him? Instead of approaching it calmly, saying that you know you have a problem and you're not sure how to work it out. I felt like I had no other choice. Every time that you feel like that, question it. Going against the grain to give ANAH. No a-holes here. This thread is classic case of outcome bias. A judgment of OP's decisions should only depend on the information that was available to OP when those decisions were made. So, the outcome of the paternity test should not affect judgment, yet I guarantee all of these YTs would be NT as if the test came back positive. It's too bad that you couldn't move past this. In hindsight it was just your paranoia, but hindsight is 20/20. Go to any Reddit thread about suspected cheated and you'll find hundreds of comments telling you to trust your gut feelings and find the truth. Well, that's what you did, and now Reddit crucifies you for it. Typical. You made a decision that would ease your suspicions while ending your relationships, no matter the outcome. It's a tough trade, and now it's time to face the consequences of it. But, hopefully, it is better than being driven to wit's end by uncertainty. YTA. So just because your husband bears a passing resemblance to your friend's son, you have destroyed both your marriage and a good friendship? What if he was the father though? YTA. It kept spiraling until I had a meltdown and confronted both of them, saying that I will pack up and leave if I don't see a paternity test. That was unnecessarily over the top. It was eating at me so much that no amount of therapy could help. Did you even try? I thought my husband would understand my fears, most of all given my history with past cheating exes. Punishing your current partner for past partner's mistakes is not okay. Of course he doesn't understand. You just told him that he's no better than those losers. You owe them both a huge apology for thinking so little of their character, and you need to seek help for your paranoia. Weird situation, but I am going to go with YTA. You let your insecurities get the better of you to an insane degree and, instead of talking it over in a normal, albeit wildly uncomfortable, conversation, you waited till you went crazy and threatened to leave them all if they didn't do exactly what you wanted. You can't really blame them for leaving you after that. What is the next thing you're going to get this insecure about? YTA. So you forced your friend to pay for a paternity test for their child. Did you ever outright ask if your friend had sex with your husband? Did you ever ask your husband? Sounds like you were looking for trouble. Why did you think your husband would understand? Hey, this kid looks like you, so obviously you cheated on me. You want him to forgive you? I wouldn't. Did you see the test? OP said she did. But speculates her friend paid off the testing center to give false results. Absolutely bonkers, the level of delusion. YTA. Lots of people resemble each other without being related. You had zero evidence, or as far as I can tell, reason to be suspicious of either of them. Being cheated on previously is an explanation, but it's not an excuse. It's a cop-out to say you felt like you had no other choice. You always have a choice. If therapy wasn't helping, find a different therapist or different method, because your paranoia and inability to see people for who they are instead of as the people who previously cheated on you, will continue to destroy friendships and relationships if you don't get it under control.